Welcome back, American Dreamer. We've invited our good friend Jim Nash. He's the water commissioner here in Oakland County. Now, Jim, you've been in that role some 4 years, right?
Just about.
And in fact, there's a new, November 8th is back on the ballot, looking for another 4 years.
Absolutely.
Okay, before that, you were an Oakland County commissioner.
Yes, I was.
So you've been in public service for quite some time now.
Absolutely.
I'm a bit of an old timer myself. I got some gray whiskers to go with you here. And I've noticed growing up in my younger years, a lot of people in Detroit would look around and say, what happened here? But the young people nowadays are asking, what can happen here? And one of the things that's happened is the Great Lakes Water Authority. Now, give me the 3 best things about the Great Lakes Water Authority.
Well, we've changed in a way. There used to be back and forth fighting between the city and Oakland County and the other surrounding counties, and we've really solved that in a significant way. We're bipartisan. We're collaborating in a way we haven't in a long time, and there's much more community involvement. The customer communities feel more involved with the whole system now than they had for a long, long time.
Because it wasn't really very collaborative. There wasn't great cooperation for a lot of years.
There were a lot of conflicts going on.
But now,
we're getting along better. Our technical staffs are all working along much better than they had in the past. We're as at the top levels, we're also getting along better. It feels really good.
And I'm happy for people who work there that it feels better. But that has an impact to me, to my community. When people are fighting over silly things about turf wars and so on and so forth, that doesn't get the best for the community.
Absolutely.
So the number one best thing about the Great Lakes Water Authority is bipartisan and regional cooperation makes a difference.
Absolutely does, and it's a great new start. We're collaborating on how we're going to go towards the future of the building we need to do in this system. There's a lot of things to repair, especially in the city, because the city is the oldest part of the system. Some of it is well over 100 years old. Mm-hmm. We saw a lot of past couple of winters, we've seen a lot of pipe bursts. We can solve those problems. We're investing in the city again that hasn't been invested in a long time.
When you say the city, you're thinking of Detroit in particular?
Detroit particularly. Part of the deal was they're getting an influx for capital improvements in the city of $50 million a year.
Hold on to that one, because that's the big finish. I want to hear that one. I really am excited about that one. But let's go ahead and think about bipartisan and regional cooperation means number 2 best thing about the Great Lakes Water Authority are better plans.
Better plans. When everybody has a voice in the process, the plans are better. They're likely to stay sustainable for a much longer period of time. If we're starting out all in the same direction, it's harder to break apart later. The fighting that we always had in the past, that's what led us to the issues we had. So now we're getting along better, and we're doing the long-range planning that we've been wanting to do for a long time.
Because this is infrastructure. This is not working on an election cycle.
Absolutely.
This is what's best for our region for the next 100 years.
This system serves over 4 million people, and from the 3 major counties, Wayne, Macomb, and Oakland, but also surrounding counties. So that's why a seat was given that was appointed by the governor that represented all the communities that aren't in the 3 main counties.
Yeah.
So long-term planning is much better. It's we all of us are understanding the needs in each community better than we had before.
Now, the Great Lakes Water Authority covers not just my drinking water, but also storm drains as well.
Sewage disposal and storm drains. The Detroit wastewater treatment plant is one of the biggest in the country. It has tremendous load capacity, and it serves the entire region. So Oakland County, most of our sewage and a lot of our stormwater goes there to be treated.
Oh, so it's a regional plant. It doesn't just handle the city of Detroit. It handles...
That's why it's part of the Great Lakes Water Authority. Everything that wasn't part of the regional infrastructure that's just located in the city, they're now a regional customer community like all the other customer communities. So they have the same responsibilities and rights as any other customer community. In terms of water, sewage and stormwater flow, that's done by groups of communities in each county because they all contribute to these interceptor systems. So all the communities, when each of these interceptor systems are working together now to build the plans they need for the next 30 or 40 years.
Okay, the third great thing about the Great Lakes Water Authority is?
The systems and improvements they'll be doing, especially in the city of Detroit. Again, as I said, the system in Detroit is much, much older than the rest of the systems. They need much more repair. Right now, leading into this new system that we brought together, for every gallon of water that was used by customers in the city of Detroit, 2.5 gallons were being wasted by broken pipes, by abandoned homes just spewing out water. All that water was wasted. As we're fixing this, we'll be able to shut down, eventually we'll shut down one of the drinking water treatment plants, because we won't need it anymore. And that'll save the whole system a lot of money.
So if 1 gallon is delivered to customers, 2.5 gallons are leaking into the earth. It ends up back in the river.
Right back
it
in the
gets
river.
sucked into the system and retreated, and we're just wasting our efforts. We needed 2 systems. Eventually we'll only need 1 because of the improvements.
Right.
To
We
the
have
system.
we have 5 water plants right now that serve that 4.5 million people. We'll be able to take it down to 4. Eventually, we'll either be able to shut it down, or maybe we'll be able to lease the system to Toledo. If they have another issue, they can just use our water.
And they can pay us.
And they can pay us.
That's a good thing.
That is a good
But
thing.
listen, not everything's good. Give me the 3 worst things about fracking going on.
In Oakland County right now, there's a couple of operations that are going. There's one that's been raised a lot of attention in Southfield that is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood. The 3 biggest things to be concerned about around any oil drilling, whether it's fracking or just conventional drilling, is the potential for pollution of the first one is potential pollution of the aquifer, where we're getting our drinking water.
So number 1, groundwater contamination.
Groundwater. When you're drilling pipes, when it's coming up and down, there's potential for leaking. It's happened in other states. It happens in other places. We have to be aware of that. The second important thing is anywhere near within a few hundred yards of a well operation, there's often gases that come out of the ground with the oil. That's natural gas mostly.
So number 2 is air pollution.
Right.
Not only do we have to worry about the water, we got to worry about the air.
Right around a system, it does blow away, but if it's right, it's something called volatile organic compounds, which are natural gas, basically, which what we collect, but it also comes out through the system just because it leaks.
Yeah.
So if that's anywhere near a road where you have exhaust, that can mix and become ground level ozone, which is a very dangerous thing that can cause inflammation of the respiratory, and especially bad on children and the elderly. So anywhere, if you're near there, I think it's something that we have to be aware of, that there's potential for air pollution around these facilities. And the third thing really is surface spills, because surface spills can go nearby a body of water. Specifically, the place in Southfield is right in among a wetland that has 2 drains that my office oversees coming out of that wetland. So if there's a spill, and if there's during the spring or fall when there's a lot of water, there's potential it could go into those drains, which would be very, very hard to clean up. It would be a significant operation to clean that up.
And we've seen ground spills and pipeline spills, and it doesn't just go away.
No, it certainly doesn't.
Stays in our system. It deals with our health. It deals with the next 100 years. It doesn't just get cleaned up overnight. It's not like a spill in my kitchen. They say there's no use crying over spilled milk. I got paper towel. Spilled oil.
Spilled oil is a whole different thing. When it's in the ground, we had the biggest spill, one of the biggest spills in the country's history was in the Manistee River. That was in 2010, and they just finally finished cleaning up, and there might be some under that ground. So it's something that's hard to clean up once it's been a spill.
Well, we appreciate your hard work for our future here. There's no bigger issue in the Great Lakes region than our fresh water. Something like 20% of the world's fresh water supply is right here. These really are Great Lakes, and we want to make sure we take good care of them. Thanks, Jim Nash, for all. Hey, this is Paul. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want more about fulfilling your American dream, go to Michigan Real Talk Facebook page. The link's in the description below, or check out more of our videos.